so pumped. You guys, you came in late. You don't know, the show is about brain stuff. Have you caught that onto that yet? Yeah? That's why they're all just like, I have something wrong with my brain. And it's all so weird. I was like, these guys don't know. They're just going to think everybody's just sad and fucked up. They're like, what is wrong with Vancouver comedians? And to be totally honest, it's not crazy far off of what you would see at a normal show. But that's why this is what it's going to be about. Usually I would just be yelling about dicks and coke and stuff like that, and you guys would be laughing, but that's not what it's going to be, so I apologize now. After the show, if you want, we can just talk in the hallway, and I'll be like, fucking coke, and you know, all that fun stuff. I moved to Vancouver, and I was told Vancouver's the only place you can be on the ski hill and the golf course in the same day. You ever heard that? Yeah. Yeah, then you move here, you find it's because you have to work part-time at both to pay rent. So that was my canned joke to get you all to laugh. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was in high school. I was told that so I had really bad marks, and then they were like, and I was going to get kicked off the football team. Then they're like, if you get diagnosed with ADHD, then you can still be on the football team. So I was like, sick. Then I go to some doctor, and he like holds up all these cards and shit. I'm not even kidding. I didn't even listen to him. I just sat there till the end. And then they were like, you have ADHD, and I was like, sick. I can play football. Yeah, that was the only reason I went. And you know, like it's not even kidding. And then they were like, you have to take Ritalin, and I was like, wait, what? That wasn't part of the deal. Then I start. I'm taking Ritalin. And they're like, and then I'm like, this is back in the year, like, say, 2003. Then everybody's telling me that ADHD is fake. Have you ever heard that? So yeah, they were like, it's actually fake. And I was like, what kind of a sick prank has been pulled on me here? It's like, we're going to bring in kids. We're going to bring in dumb kids who have bad marks, and then we're going to give them Ritalin. And then we're going to tell them it's a prank. We're not going to tell them that. Nobody even told me. I just went and played football. I didn't even take the Ritalin in the end. Super messed up. So they told us it was fake. They were like, ADHD is actually fake. It's just for kids that have too much sugar. That's what they say. Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I losing you? And I remember being told that, and I was like, well, we could test this out if I were to just cut out sugar and see if everything changes. And then I thought, look, we're just never going to know. There's no... You know what I mean? Have you tried fruit roll-ups? Forget about it. Not a chance. And then I get older, and I don't ever take any medication for it, whatever. I just start working out a bunch, and that seems to do the trick. Then the internet comes around, social media, and they're like, ADHD is a superpower. This is what they say. The internet was like, ADHD is actually a superpower. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, it's not even, what is your superpower? That you lose stuff? You know? Like, they're like, which one of the X-Men are made up of someone who controls the weather, a guy that shoots lasers out of his eyes, and then one dude that one time put my car keys in the fridge. I literally thought that would be the funniest part of the whole show, and now I'm editing everything. I did put my car keys in the fridge once. If you have ADHD, that's the sort of stuff you do. Then once you put your car keys in the fridge once, do you understand that every time you lose something, you then have there's not a small amount of places to look for the thing. You have to literally look in the fridge. I one time put the cinnamon in the fridge, and then I couldn't find the cinnamon, and then I bought more cinnamon, and then I came back and found the cinnamon in the fridge, and then I just have way too much. I was a cinnamon for a year, and then these doubts about everything. I've never read an email in its entirety. I've never read an email from start to finish. Like, I've read them, I look at them, and I get the point. Do you know what I'm saying? This is also just kind of a guy thing, where we just, if you've ever worked in an office with guys, and you talk to them, you're like, yeah, I didn't read the whole email. In fairness to me, these work emails, they're boring. They're too boring. That's the problem. They need to make the subject line something that I'm interested in. Make the subject line just like moon landing, question mark. Now I'm in. Now I'm like, yeah. Wait, yeah, moon landing? What? Moon landing or maybe not moon landing? And then I open the email and it'll just be like, your timesheets were due 2 weeks ago. And I go, fair. That's fair. But at least you got me in. They say people with ADHD are very creative, and I would say that's true. When I was a child, 15 years old, I invented Netflix, and I am not kidding. I invented Netflix. I was downloading things using torrents. Does anyone know what a torrent is? Fuck yeah, you know what's up. Using torrents, and I was like, it would be so great if there was a website where all these stolen movies would be on. Obviously, the stealing part I didn't count on, but I was like, and then I was like, I'd call it computer cable. I invented Netflix and I called it computer cable, and I told everyone I know about it at the time. So much so that when Netflix came out, my friends were texting me and they were like, yo dude, computer cable is here. You invented this many years ago. I don't have any punchlines for this. I just want to finally get some credit for inventing Netflix. At the age of 15, I invented it. I called it computer cable. Also, not as impressive, I invented the spaghetti sandwich, which became popular many years later. It's garlic bread with cheese, spaghetti, garlic bread on the bottom. And that one's not as impressive, but also I did invent it as a child. Okay, here's another one for you. I have a lot of weird interests. I have weird interests, and my friends have always said, some of them are like, maybe you're autistic, is what they say. So in my house, I have a wall that is covered in posters of people who were killed by the CIA. Okay? We got Muammar Gaddafi on there. You know who that is? Yeah, Muammar Gaddafi rules. We got JFK, Martin Luther King, John Lennon. That one's kind of a maybe as far as the list goes. I have a wall full of people murdered by the CIA, and my friends are like, "This means you're autistic." And I tell them, "No, the CIA wall doesn't mean I'm autistic. It just means that I'm single." The stuff that I think is funny, you guys don't think is funny, but I'm going to continue with all this brain stuff. I'm going to continue. So one thing, you guys, this is going to get crazy now. You guys are going to be like, you're so messed up, but I don't care. So I am never really thinking about the thing that is going on. Like, whenever I'm talking, especially when I do comedy, I think about other stuff. Like, even while I've been talking to you guys, I've been thinking about other things. Not so much because I had to read off the sheet, so it sort of threw me off. But if I was telling you guys jokes that I've told 100 times, I'm thinking about all kinds of other stuff. So one time I was going to do a tour through the interior of BC, and it was for older people, so it was a clean comedy show. It was all clean comedy. And on my way to do it, I watched a 5-hour and 50-minute documentary about Columbine. And so the whole time I'm doing these clean jokes, I'm actually just thinking about Columbine, which is always like, it's a very weird, it's very strange for me. And I know that it seems like you're like, why are you even telling us this? It's because it's the theme of the show, so you have to know that. So I'm thinking about Columbine. While I'm telling these jokes about Subway, I can tell you the jokes. So when you're at Subway, guys, when you're at Subway, you actually don't have to point at the vegetables. Every time I go in there, people are going lettuce, onions, tomatoes. But in my head, I'm like, it's so fucked up what those children did. It's so crazy. Is the answer more guns or is it less guns? How is it possible that two people met each other at the same high school and they were both psychopaths that wanted to shoot up the whole school? I can assure you the sandwich artist knows what pickles are. And where they are as well. At no point are you going to say, I'll have olives, and they're going to go, what are olives? You can't just come in here making sounds and expect a sandwich to appear. Give me some directions. God, there was a lot of school shootings after that first school shooting. Well, I'm just going to sit and get what I deserve. Because I guess it was a little messed up. You guys want to know the craziest thing about Columbine that I learned in the documentary? Anyone? You do. So same people who knew who Gaddafi was. So I appreciate that. Okay, so after Columbine, do you guys know about Columbine? Do I need to catch you up to speed? So it was like the first big school shooting. It was the big one. It was the original Star Wars. Every school shooting after that was just a shitty spin-off of the original. All the school shooting shits have just been some Jar Jar Binks bullshit, okay? These are two dudes, they go into school, and they wreak havoc. And so after the shooting, there was all these pastors down in the States, and these pastors, This one pastor made all these fake blogs because he wanted to make it seem like it was gay people and that this is what gay people are just going to do. So he kept calling it the Gay Alamo. Now, one thing, these two were not gay. They weren't gay, and I think we can all agree that just unleashing 2 gay people on a school wouldn't be a bad thing, right? You unleash 2 gay people in a school, they're just going to go in and redecorate the whole thing. You would have come in the next day after, April 20th of 1999, and you got like, man, it feels like spring in here. This is actually really nice. This is very spacious. Ever since those 2 gay dudes just went nuts in here. So the thing is, so the guy kept calling it the Gay Alamo. He made all these different fake accounts. And all these, and in the blogs, he just kept calling it the Gay Alamo. It's the Gay Alamo. And he was pretending to be a gay guy in this, as if gay people were planning this big Gay Alamo, and that's what they were going to do. Now, if you know anything about Columbine, Eric Harrison, Dylan Klebold, those are their names. Like I said, I know everything about it. But you would know that not only were they not gay, they were actually quite homophobic, these 2 gentlemen. And I wouldn't even call them gentlemen, to be honest. I would call them jerks. I would. But they were actually quite homophobic. And knowing that there's all these blogs out there calling it the Gay Alamo, I've always thought it'd be really, really funny, the concept of them being in the afterlife, wherever they are, I assume hell, wherever it is. And people being like all dark and twisted, being like, so, what do they say about us on Earth? What's our legacy? And the people being like, I don't know, dude, everybody calls it the Gay Alamo. No, we're the Doom Killers. We're the Doom Killers. Like, Gay Alamo, dude, don't know what to tell you. Have a good life. You guys are really fun. That was kind of tricky, but I think we had fun in the end, so thank you very much.